did.
Hey guys, Ben with Descent Off-Road. Today I want to go over just kind of what we've done on our suspension paired with the portals. I think we've got it to a point where it's working quite well. The portals give us not only just 3.88 inches of lift on our differentials, but also lift overall, which helps clear in the 40-inch tires. So just recently, I've lowered the suspension down. I don't need the full 3 inches of lift on the suspension where it was sitting. It was just a little too tall. So I want to show you kind of why we did that and the benefits of doing so. So first, let's look under here now that we're sitting about 2 inches lower. So I think I'm sitting about 1 inch over stock on the suspension, and then we have 3.88 inches on the portals, for a total of 4.88 inches. So first off, you can see our tie rod ends, our CVs are sitting very flat. This is going to help with longevity, also with strength, especially on the tie rod ends. Having that push straight into your rack as you're turning off-road is much stronger than having that at a steep angle. So huge benefit there, but not only just strength, just wear and tear. You can see we still got crazy amount of clearance on the front diff, but also our A-arms are sitting pretty flat as well. But a big benefit, a big reason for coming down, and I'm looking forward to trying this out off-road, is a big problem with IFS rigs, lifted IFS rigs, I should say, is the preload on the spring. So essentially, to get that height up, we are putting more preload on the spring, which is raising the vehicle, which means it takes more force to compress that spring when you're articulating. Also, when that rear unloads, all that force transfers, and that's when you really get the kind of the quick transfer of weight and force, which can tip you over or bring your tire up in the air very quickly. So we want to show you the benefits here and just how much better this front suspension is going to work now. So let me start the forklift up. All right, so first you'll notice as I'm lifting this is the front suspension compressing. Rear suspension drooping is actually kind of 1 for 1. We're compressing about as much on the front as we're drooping. Typically, we wouldn't see that even before I lowered this. We could lift this all the way up to this point, and we still wouldn't be using all of our suspension or up travel on the front. So let's walk over here. So now we are at full bump, and you can see it just traveled. It got to full bump much easier than it typically would. If I lifted this tire with the 2.5 inches of lift on that coilover, we wouldn't even be able to get it to hit bump here. It would start unloading and would lessen your travel, make it much more tippy. So we've also just added the Perry Parts bump stops here. Looking forward to trying those out. Initially, I've hit some pretty rough roads and never felt any harsh bottoming out like I did with the factory ones. Because I have the portals and plenty of fender clearance, I might reach out to him and see if we can get a little bit shorter one, because I could actually benefit from a little more up travel on this, because I got plenty of fender clearance. But again, looking forward to trying these out. We'll keep you updated on how they work out for us. I will walk around to the back here because my tire is a couple inches off the ground, and this is where it would always get sketchy, is as this tire lifted more and the vehicle leaned more, your front suspension would want to unload. So we'll kind of show you here how stable that is. I can't, as soon as I rock it, it settles right back down. And again, I've got a lot of pressure still on this tire, and the vehicle is extremely stable currently. But the other thing I'd like to touch on is just how much travel this platform gets paired with the Icon stuff. So I want to say we're sitting kind of near in long travel specs on the front and the rear. And again, this is because this platform we're using a lot wider. So this is factory lower control arms. This is the Icon CD EV. I want to say we're sitting at about 6 inches of droop on the front suspension and another 4 to 5 of compression. So we're close to 11, 12 inches on the front, which is near and long travel. But again, you can see how well this is basically an off-the-shelf bolt-on suspension kit, non-long travel, but we're getting long travel numbers, which is pretty awesome.